superstars on the other side. Just talk a little bit about coach point.
Yeah. Well, we got to be aware of these guys because we saw what happened in Denver, right? Like, this is a team that can hurt you when you make mistakes, and especially from their top guys. And in the Denver game, I thought we played a pretty sound hockey game in a lot of different ways, and especially early in the game, we gave up a couple chances and ended up in the back of our net, and we ended up playing catch up, and it didn't work out. So I think you got to be your focus, your awareness, your intensity of your game, and your checking details got to be in place because they can create offense in a bunch of different ways. And I feel like you're looking at our last handful of games, especially, we've done that. We've got to a good point in our game, and we've been pretty consistent with it throughout the course of 60 minutes, and I think that's one of the keys here for tonight.
Josh was just talking about how it feels like the work ethic has been there and the details have been sharp on this trip. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, and that gives you your best chance to win. I think we've done that. I think there's been some consistency to our game. I've liked the way all four lines of our guys have played. Our D-core's been solid on most nights, and we're starting to mix in some key saves at key times. And in the Florida game, especially middle of the game, second period, we started to get rewarded for some of that hard work. Scoring hasn't come easy for us at times through the course of the year. Last game segment, we didn't shoot well as a team, but we still like what we're producing. We get rewarded from going to the net pretty hard in Florida and delivering pucks there on time and getting playable pucks to the net from our D, coming up with some deflections, rebounds, and I think that has to become more a part of our game. We like to play with the puck in the offensive zone. We like to possess it. But there has to be that attack mentality that's mixed into that as well, and taking shots when we get them and making sure we're paying the price of the net to score. And so all those things we've kind of been building over the course of time, and the Florida game that came together, and we got to continue to make that part of our game here moving forward.
What has Sam Malinsky done to? I mean, he plays every game. Like, you have those kind of bottom four guys, and it's been a rotation in the other spot.
Yeah. Well, consistency is one thing. I like the way he's defended, but he's been lots of poise coming out of our zone, through the neutral zone, and even if his game is just solid and quietly good, he's still finding a way on most nights to make a play or two that's leading to really good scoring chances. Last game it was hitting Mikko on the breakaway, on the stretch pass, and on the controlled breakout. There's a couple other nice plays mixed in there. He's showing up, making some plays. It's nullifying scoring chances on the D side, but it's the ability to get his head up, make a real smart pass, a real smart player, use his feet to create a scoring chance that's like kind of putting him a head above some of the other guys. And it's not just recent games, it's been going on all year. So there's a real good maturity in his game now with the consistency part of it.
Calvin hasn't played in a few games, and he didn't skate this morning. Is this a healthy scratch thing, or is this an unhealthy scratch?
No, he's
thing?
healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with making sure that you're rewarding guys, like Oliver, who's having a really nice stretch here, while also making sure that guys aren't sitting for too long or things like that, or are you just playing who you think gives you the best chance?
Well, yeah, I'm always going to do that, but I have to keep in mind I want everyone involved. So, I talked about it a little bit with the goal. Like, I told Oliver that he was going to go in, and that I don't want him to put too much pressure on himself. He'd been out of the lineup for a while. He's missed quite a bit of time over the last couple of years, and I didn't want him to be uptight. I told him I'm not going to play you or scratch you based on one or two plays a game, mistakes or good plays. I want to see what he can do when he gets in a rhythm, to see what his game looks like, and see if he can provide something different than some of the other guys to help us. So he knew he was going to play a handful in a row right away, and then we'd get CD back involved here, and we'll keep looking at Ludwig, and I'm telling CD the same thing. So I kind of know what some of our D can provide to us. They played a lot of games. Oliver's not one of them, right? So I'm going to get him more involved here over the next 10 games and see how he does, and then we get a better feel for what our team can do against certain opponents and certain matchups. And goaltending is kind of the same way. Like we go through segment one, and Noonan's really good, and Gorgie struggled. Then we went through segment 2, and Gorgie was really good, and then Noonan struggled. But through the course of those 10 games, like one guy played a bunch of games in a row. I want to see if I can shorten that window a little bit and get both guys playing good in segment 3. It's a really tough schedule, obviously on the road. 3 games at home this week with a back-to-back, then back out on the road for another big trip. So probably shorten that window, see what our goalies can do. If we can get both goalies playing well at the same time, it just gives us a better chance.
It feels like you have the ability to play those top 6 forwards now that they're all healthy. Like you're mixing and matching, even like between shifts in games. What is it about those? I don't know if it's the wingers or the 2 centers, or just what is it about them that makes it so interchangeable? It seems like.
Well, they're all world-class players, number 1. They've all played with each other before, which is great, number 2. So you'll see me often change the center or change the wingers. That's face-offs has something to do with it there. Casey's a lefty. Mikko's a lefty. Both can take draws. And then you got Mac, who's a righty. So Casey's line goes out, has a good shift. It's a short shift, and face-off goes to the right side. You're going to see me pop McKinnon out with those wingers. And I like them to be interchangeable. I like them getting used to one another and getting comfortable with one another. We've got a long season. We'll see them play together, apart, etc. I'm not locked into one thing, even though I want to have I want them to feel comfortable, so I want to leave them for a course of time. If it's going good, we'll keep it. And so the flexibility is always a good thing when it comes to your team, and the depth is a big part of that. And hopefully we get even more healthy here as the time goes on.